Year's resolution? We have a couple. Everybody else has given up on life. Right? And there's a reason why. It's like, how many people have tried to have a New Year's resolution? More people, yes. Okay. And the trouble is we start with these high hopes. And after a couple weeks, we think, man, I don't really care about this goal anymore. Right? It's just a goal, and nobody cares if I do it or not. And so we just stop. And there's something different between goals and purpose. So goals is something that you just kind of set and you say, okay, this is where I want to get and I want to accomplish these things. But purpose is something that kind of finds you. As you live your life, as you have different experiences, as you're challenged in the way of your thinking, you kind of say, what am I good at? What am I here to do? And that's how you kind of figure out your purpose. And if your goals are connected to your purpose, then you accomplish your goals. If your goals aren't connected to anything, you try them for a couple weeks and then you give up. Right? So it's really interesting. I taught a class and it was about purpose. It was about how to be successful and all the things that they don't teach you in school. So if you ever want to learn about these kind of things, come talk to me. But there were 6 types of success. Okay? And one is physical health. Okay, one is intellectual stimulation. Okay, one is emotional health. One is social relationships. One is fulfilling life role satisfaction. Okay, so there's all these different areas of life, and it's really interesting. I was thinking as how people were created. And it says in the Bible that people were created, God took this dirt and he made it to a man. He made it into a human. And out of this dirt, that's our physical self. Right? And then he breathed into this man, and there was this connection, there was a purpose, there was a spiritual direction and purpose for this person's life. Okay? Then he put that person, and he put him in a garden, and he gave him a job. He said, hey, here's the garden, you need to take care of it. That was his life role. That was his purpose that he needed to accomplish. And then he gave him a challenge. He said, look at all these animals. Look at them and give them a name. This intellectual stimulation. Yeah. And then he looked around at this guy and he said, something's missing. There's all these animals, but he's not. There's something wrong, right? So they took the human and they took part of him and made a woman. Because it wasn't good for a man to be alone. So now there's this social relationship. And the last part, it said these people were together and they were naked and they were unashamed. Right? There was no shame. They were emotionally balanced. And this is how we all started. Our very, very first forefathers had these 6 areas where we were balanced. And yet, as we look around at ourselves, man, we're all messed up. And that's why we choose goals. Like, I need to develop in this area. And it's usually related to these different 6 areas. The one I want to mention is this life role satisfaction. What does that mean? It means if you're a son or a daughter or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a cousin or a friend, if you're a worker, if you're a boss, usually we think, man, I'm single. If I had a partner, things would be all better, right? And then the people that get married, they're like, oh man, maybe if I had a kid, things would be better. And then the people that had kids are like, man, once those kids are out of the house, things will be a lot better. Right? Everybody's always waiting for that next time when things are finally going to be better. And there's something special if you have a purpose, if you connect your purpose to where you are right now, it actually allows you to enjoy your life that you have right now. And you don't feel depressed, you don't feel like you're floating because you say, okay, where I am right now helps me to get to that next spot. But I'm not living in that next spot yet.
Yeah.
So I need to live here and love here. And that's what we're here and we're supposed to do. Martin Luther King Jr., he said this. He said, if you don't have a purpose worth dying for, you're not fit to live.
Yeah.
And so this is my challenge for you. Is like, what are you here for? I think some people are here is to bring joy to other people, to bring laughter to other people, to challenge people through their poetry. And some people are still trying to figure that out. They're still wondering, I'm going to try this a little bit. I'm going to try this a little bit. I'm going to see what I'm good at. Do that. Ask those deep questions. Don't say, I don't know what I'm here for. There's no meaning to life.
Yeah.
Because I believe there is.
So that's purpose.
And I believe we're invited in to figure out what we were created to do. So if you ever want to talk about these things, come find me. Happy New Year. One last thing. So Hassan is here. He always likes to roast me whenever I go to his comedy shows. The last time he did a really good one. He said, you kind of look like John Cena. And I was like, man, that's a good compliment. Thanks, buddy. And he said, if he was paid in Turkish lira. And he had me sit up front, in the front row, just so he could roast me. So thank you, Hassan. Have a good night.
Yeah.